We start with news of yet another provocation by North Korea. The regime has again test-fired a ballistic missile from a submarine in clear defiance of an international ban. The South Korean military says the launch is an armed protest against joint military drills between South Korea and the U.S., which started earlier this week. Let's get the latest from our Kim Hyun-bin, who's standing by at the Ministry of National Defense in Seoul. Hyun-bin.
Good morning. Ministry officials say they tracked the submarine-launched ballistic missile as it traveled some 500 kilometers before dropping into the East Sea. Now, the SLBM was fired from a submarine in the waters near the eastern city of Sinpo at around 5:30 a.m. South Korea time. Now, officials added that the missile breached Japan's air defense identification zone by about 80 kilometers. Now, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says the launch is a clear violation of UN Security Council resolutions that ban the North from conducting these kinds of tests. Now, officials believe the firing was an armed protest against the annual South Korea-U.S. military drill known as Urju Freedom Guardian, which started on Monday. Now, North Korea, which had earlier threatened to retaliate, see the exercise as a rehearsal for a northward invasion. But Seoul and Washington insist the drills are purely defensive in nature. Now, we must also note that this launch comes as the foreign ministers of South Korea, Japan, and China are due for talks in Tokyo. Now, the South Korean military says North Korea has made improvements in terms of its SLBM technology compared to previous launches, adding that an SLBM that flies more than 300 kilometers can be deemed a success. Now, officials say the military will remain on high alert and is ready to counter any further provocations. Now, North Korea's SLBM development poses an extra threat to regional stability and South Korea's national security, as the missiles are practically impossible to detect before launch. The presidential office of Cheongwade held a National Security Council Standing Committee meeting shortly after the launch, led by Security Chief Kim Hyun-bin, to assess the situation and discuss countermeasures. Back to you.